the U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight because it's nature that we're talking about, and they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Good day all, welcome back to South Africa, and this is South African Prepper. So the intro to this video is some news around the world and then specifically in South Africa. So first, the food shortages in the UK. The second video, which is quite shocking, is Zelensky, president of Ukraine, actually telling the Americans that they need to get involved in the Ukrainian-Russian war. So you can see that he is actually pushing for World War III. So keep your eyes open. I think we are extremely close to World War III at this stage. This third article is about the US Embassy in Pretoria in South Africa, actually warning their citizens working in South Africa that they need to stock up and they need to prepare for civil unrest. So in this article, they explained to the workers in South Africa or embassy members that they need to have 72 hours of food and water stored up. So this is coming from the American Embassy in South Africa. And then the fourth article, which is quite shocking because this is from the New Zealand Herald, so a newspaper in New Zealand, that is actually saying that because of the possible grid collapse, electricity collapse, or total blackout of South Africa, they are warning of possible civil war in South Africa. So at this stage, things are not going so well in Ukraine, and it's not going so well in South Africa. And by the looks of it, neither does it go well in the UK. I saw and read an article yesterday about the farmers in Holland, in the Netherlands, and how they are fighting for survival. Holland or Netherlands being the second most exported producer of food in the world after America, and how those farmers are fighting for survival against their own government. So let me come to this video now. And this video actually fits in with how to start your own prepping community. I've made 2 videos about this before. Go have a look at it. And this is a specific warning to my fellow South Africans and the conservatives within South Africa, is that once this civil unrest that they are talking about, and you can see that a couple of years ago, let's call it 15 years ago, personally I thought, yeah, let's prepare a little bit, maybe something it's going to happen. And then 10 years ago, it's more like, ooh, something is coming. And then round about 5 years ago, you could actually see the signs and the symptoms of South Africa going down a road where South Africa will totally collapse. So as I'm sitting here making the video to my fellow South Africans, it is an almost fact, I would say 99.99%, that South Africa will collapse very soon, within the next at least 12 months to 2 years. So we're going to see the collapse of South Africa. So to get to this video and to add to how to start your own prepping community, us as a family, and I've said this before, I can only speak out of our own experiences, the guy making the video, our experiences, the way we do things. And I think sometimes to share how we do things from a prepper's perspective and from a person that is conservative of character. Our family still believe in certain morals, Christian morals. We have come to the conclusion that specifically in South Africa, if you're going to be in the cities, you are not going to survive. Now, I know I always give people the options of bugging in, bugging out, and we've done the comparisons of the benefit analysis and the risk analysis of bugging in and bugging out. But I think at this stage of the fight in South Africa, if you're going to stay within a major city in South Africa, especially around Cape Town and Gauteng and KZN, Durban area, I personally believe that people are just not going to make it. It's going to escalate into such violence in South Africa in the cities. And if you're South African, you know, because we have got all of these informal settlements around this, the biggest cities, and they do pose a massive threat because these are the masses of South Africa. These are the poorest of the poor. And when people really, really get desperate, okay, they're going to do what they did in 2021 in KZN. They're going to loot, they're going to burn, they're going to steal, okay? And they're not going to leave the suburbs alone. They're actually going to hit the suburbs quite hard because they think the suburb people are rich and the suburb people have got food and supplies within their houses. Now, we have got food and supply in our houses, but that is the mentality that they've been taught, is that the people in the suburbs have got all the food and all the money. So they will be hitting the suburbs once anarchy takes place in South Africa. So to stay within a city in South Africa for us as a family is absolutely madness. And that's why we have not opted for bugging in. We've actually not opted for bugging out either. We have actually opted for relocating. And as I'm sitting here, you'll see all of the boxes and the stuff behind us. We are actively busy relocating. It does take time, unfortunately. It does cost a lot of money. But we have looked at our history as the Boer Nation. And the Boer Nation has always defended themselves. They've always gone into a stance of defending themselves. If you're South African and you know history, the Battle of Blood River, okay, it was actually from a self-defense position. And I do believe that in order for our people, the Boer Nation, to survive the coming collapse of South Africa, we need to be able to relocate ourselves. We need to be able to look after our own families. And then from there, that stance point, we can then support our own people. So that is actively what we are busy doing now as part of being part of the South African Boer Nation prepping community. We are actively busy building things and putting things in place so we can assist those people that are not preparing as well as we are. So guys, thank you for watching. This channel has grown tremendously. In our next video we will do Ask South African Prepper videos. I've had a lot of questions about how we do things, and it's always good to learn from each other. One can always learn new things. I always learn a lot of things from all of my viewers. And thank you very much for watching. And this is South African Prepper. God bless.